Welcome back to the GLAC Studios oil painting tutorial. I'm Gomati Sivasankaran. We are in class 9 of the oil painting of Vidya Lakshmi. It's one of the 8 forms of Lakshmi avatars that are known for all the positive propensities of life. Vidya refers to knowledge. So this is the goddess of knowledge that we have been working on. We started out with a blank canvas, did the wash, and then moved on to planning, executing using grids um, onto the canvas. And once the idea came up alive, we started, giving it some more meaning with the help of blocking, filling. Layer 2, layer 3 helped us to further enhance that idea with the help of light versus dark. Then we moved on to much more detailing because we needed depth in layer 4. We kickstart layer 5 today, which is going to be nuances. While we focus on more nuances and details, we will always be going back to the lessons that we did, the methods that we did in our layers 3 and 4, which means dark versus light also, and the depth also, together with the nuances. So it's going to be a lot of detailing. Need to keep patience and go for it. A couple of things that I wanted to mention before we kickstart this layer is that I give layer 5 as the final set of layer to mark the completion of the tutorial, to kind of bring things to a finish, to also help you understand how do you check things final and close. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you should stop there. I have built all this learning experiences with this whole motive that you begin to explore more from here. So I would definitely encourage you to go more than or even further than what you see here and share with me what you have done. Yes. So with that in mind, one basic logic that you will see going through the layer 5, because I call it the final layer, is that there will be fat overlay, meaning there's going to be a lot of oil used, not a lot, but quite a bit of oil, linseed oil that I will use comparatively in comparison to what you've seen before, because I want some kind of transparency through that oil through which the fourth layer on the canvas also reflects. So whatever we do, it's not going to hide, rather it's going to enhance what we have done. So with that in mind, how do we do that? The primary logic is that, when I add on the oil, I usually keep my palette vertical so I can see if it is just dripping down or so, because it should be fluid but not too fluid that it starts running down the canvas into the places where I don't want it to. That's the basic thing that I would expect. With all those basic instructions, let's kickstart today's session. We are going to get started with the face and skin tone for layer 5. I have a picture of the girl next to me. The colors are going to be, I have vermilion, yellow ochre, permanent yellow, crimson, burnt umber, and black. I have done some mixtures here, but I will do it again while we work through. In terms of the brushes, I will stick to Brushes 1, round and flat, and brush 0 and 000, micro brushes basically. That's about it. Let's kickstart. So, whenever we kickstart, we also look at few things that could be improvised, could be adjust things over or not. Hmm. Um, we did quite a bit of changes to the looks and the way the whole system was built, the whole picture was built when we decided the jewelry and such. So there's something uh, that is still visible from the old. So I would like to have this possibly quoted on more time uh, towards the end of this layer 5. That's something I have kept in mind. I'm looking forward to seeing other corrections. I don't think many. I think it all looks okay. The flower and such. The base looks okay. I mean, to me, it looks okay. In terms of the face of the girl, maybe I would like to have a little more smile than what we have here. She's supposed to look so serene, not too naughty. So I think the face really fitted fine. That's why we selected this face. But I just want a tiny bit more of the smile. So that's something I've kept in mind. Aside from this, I don't see much of corrections or changes needed as such. So this is something, it's like a self-assessment of what all you think you need to do. So keep a list because you will have to knock it off one by one in the upcoming sessions before we call it a finish. I have a brush number 1 round and I'm going to mix um, permanent yellow, yellow ochre, and was it vermilion that we did last time? A tiny bit of vermilion. Mm-hmm. That's the darker color base that I wanted to have ready. And I'm just mixing it to the lighter um, tonality. It's the same that I had previously done. So mixing it again to that lighter one. This one has got a little bit of titanium white. And again here, be cautious as to the use of titanium white. Um, use as less as possible of titanium white. I have some in another palette, but yeah, if I need, I will take. I'm just looking at the color. This one works fine for the shady area. I will need a little bit of this darker tonality that we mixed, and then I need another version of light, really light uh, tone here. So I'm going to add a little bit of titanium white, portion by portion, part by part. Do it slowly, do not rush, because titanium white tends to mellow down a little too much than what you need of the color, and you just end up having everything looking white or shades of white. Uh, that is a sorry case, I guess. So yeah, somehow I have also felt it. I don't know if you have also seen that you would have achieved, maybe a lot of things that are looking really good, but the color is slightly off. that happens to me. So this is a nice color. So I have a, can you see that the dark and then slightly medium in another range. I think for her skin tone, these ranges really do credit. And we can, mildly mix crimson directly on the canvas wherever we feel that there could be some blush that we need to create. And to this, again, whatever I'm doing it vertically because I want to see it. So if I'm adding a couple of drops of oil here, raw linseed oil here, I'm adding that using my brush only. And I see that it is light. It's it's not dripping down. It's the right fluidity. I'm going to use this. So it's going to be the dark versus light game that we played in the uh, previous sessions. So I'm just going to do that in the lighter section, fill it out, fill it out in the arm. It's a little too difficult. Okay, it has to be. Mhm. And a little bit on the hands, the fingers, wherever you can use that. And the other color range that we mixed can be taken now for the rest of the areas. The ear, neck, arms, fingers, all these places are really minute. Just go over real quick. Okay, I'm blending in some of it right away, but we'll work on the details first and then come back to the blending uh, in a short while. Okay, so I'm ready to work on the detailing. For detailing, I will use my micro brush. This is it's going to be slightly intense because we are going to look at part by part every minuscule area and work on it. So take it slow and steady. Um, let's keep the red thread that we are going to take the key logic of how she looks. Um, and this is a very subjective term to use also, a subjective idea to share also, because Where do you make a stop? How realistic do you want? I wanted to look a little real, definitely. But I wouldn't go that far to work on hyper realism because that is not the purpose of my tutorial, and also I do not work on hyper realism mainly. For me, the concepts are more important. And if the concept that we are trying to say that this little girl is Vidya Lakshmi, the goddess of knowledge, does it resonate? And that's where I see the stop line. So it's again subjective. So this is something that I will say, this particular lesson. Um, I am going to take it slow and steady through with the detailing. But if you need a break, you can take a pause and try to do it, because the colors are going to be fresh in the palette and you want to use all of them right away for the skin tone. So try to make sure that it doesn't matter how much time this session is going to take, try to make sure that you are able to do it in the same day, if not at a stretch, at least in the same day, taking a break in between, because you just want to be there, present, to grasp whatever you have grasped from the images, and what do you want to say, convey that in the same day, at least this particular part of it. Yeah. So I have um, burnt umber with me, and I'm going to mix a little bit of ivory black to it, and have that ready in my micro brush to start working on. We will start working on her eyes first. One thing I noticed about the eye is that it is slightly bigger. So I have done the uh, iris pupil section, and now I need some tissues to wipe off the brush and use a tiny bit of titanium white that isn't totally clean. So I want it to have a little bit of skin color or something, so it isn't totally pure titanium white, to be used at the sides of the eye. And this is where I have some disturbance in my canvas. Okay, excess paint that needs to be removed. This excess paint, comes, sticks onto the canvas because we might have some, dry paint lying. We might have missed it from the previous layer. It disturbs our work, so we need to just remove it off. No, do not use any sharp items. I have used something that is slightly blunt. I tend to use a painting knife also most of the time to do such corrections. Okay. The mode. Okay. Mm-hmm. The eyes look slightly bigger now. Um, it's the eye that's important, especially in this case. You want to show that knowledge, the serenity uh, that comes out of this knowledge in the eye, and that can be best depicted through that iris and pupil that will reflect it. So it's just to show that level of intelligence through the eye. Doing the iris and the pupil one more time. I haven't done the detailing yet. I'm just doing the shade. I want to first, define the contours nicely. Yes, that is done. And I will use this color to again work on the nostrils. I have left some space, but I will come back to it shortly with the lighter skin tone to go slightly underneath and adjusting the size of it. Here you go, the eyes slightly pepped up. Now we will work on the light in the eye, the knowledge factory. Where is the light? Um, in most of the images that we have, sometimes it's the light due to the photography, light coming from nature, so many things. So if you want to adapt it, it's fine. If you want to take that lighting from the picture, that's also fine. I like the lighting here in the eye. Okay. And this one I have blended. One is sharp, one I have blended a little bit to make it look gray. So I'm just gonna blend this one, make it lighter. Yeah. And I'm going to take the pure ivory black to go over the contour one more time. Yes. The light in the eye, the white in the eye needs a bit more of adjustment. Mhm. Slight adjustments. So I've worked only on the upper eyes line, not the eyelid, nothing else done. So now we start blending things with the skin tone that's closer to the eye. I'm going to take the raw color that we mixed just out of these three colors, permanent yellow, yellow ochre and vermilion. This time I'm going to take this, not the crimson, and try knocking in, and everything I'm doing with a micro brush, knocking in some shades here, where exactly it's really close to the area where the eye socket is actually. That's exactly the place where the eyeball is. And it is also the place where you see some kind of shade here, and that continues. Huh? Okay, I think that can be brought down for the nostrils angle. And now I want to use a tiny bit of crimson to go in the flesh that is coming freely underneath the eye, but very carefully blending that in. Taking the lightest of the skin tone to blend it further in so it doesn't show up so prominently, but it just sits there, you know. All right. So now I take some burnt umber to go over the eye line that is in the under eye, being very careful with it. Where it starts, it looks slightly bigger now because we don't have eyelashes, so do not think of the size right away. It will shift gradually the moment we start throwing the eyelashes in. So Yes. Good. I think I have darkened it a little bit, so I'm just going to add a little bit of the flesh color, the lighter one, to just pep it up. Good. The eyes come up a little stronger now. I want the lighter color to go in on the skin here. Um, Before we start working on the eyelash area, we want to have that, the I'm sorry, I just forget the words because I just get lost in the painting. Um, the eyelid. Hmm? So we are going to work on the eyelid now, and for that, I'm just prepping that section because there are some lighter tonalities there. Prepped it. Now we take a little bit of the burnt umber and draw the strong line across, that is the curve across, that is defining the eyelid. Okay, done in here. It's almost parallel to the eyes line, but it isn't so strong, so just give it a lighter shade. Okay, guess I sort of defined it. Now there is this very thin gap between the eye line and the eyelids line. That's where I want some highlight, so I'm taking the lightest skin color there to just throw in some light in between. So it's a very, very minor crack or gap that needs to show some light. Hmm? Once you are done with that, then you're ready to work on the eyelashes. Eyelashes, burnt umber, ivory black, can we live with that? We're going to work on the similar color tone for her hair also. Yeah, have it ready in my micro brush. Gently, I'm going to start with the area that is the side here. From the inside of the line, the eye line, you want to go out. Yes. And the same logic. Yes. So I guess her eyes are smiling. And then now we work on her eyebrows. For that, we have left the space. I think I agree with the space. I'm going to use the lighter skin tone a tad bit here to just have some skin there. Huh? Not too much. And then work on the eyebrow. We could use the same color that we mixed, the burnt umber black combination. But remember, it's going to be really, really minute hair follicles to create the eyebrows texture, so do not make strong lines. When I teach pencil sketching, I do teach the sections where eyebrows are done with a V shape, going bottom to top in one angle and then the opposite angle and making a V shape and such. That doesn't really work with it does, but not too much. Keep that V shape in mind, maybe, but do not execute it here because it's a child and her hair is still not grown that far. I can see. Yeah. So there is this V shape existing, possibly coming into the picture, going to when she gets a little older. So it's still in growth. It's not fully grown. So you'll not have that kind of a setup. Might not, depends on the age of the child, and such. I think this is good enough. uh, all these are tiny dots that I've really pricked. I have not painted anything there, so I'm fine with this. um, so the eyebrows are done. Let's blend in a little bit on the nose. To work on the nose, I want a little bit of titanium white to go on the tip of the nose. And I will use that on the tip, on the forehead section where the light is falling, also on her cheek. So I'll blend this here and go for the shape. And all this blending I'm doing only with the micro brush, so it's really slow. You want to be really very gentle with this, not trying to speed up in this process. So whatever I add, I know that I could just add a little more and make it, speed up. But, we will miss that nuance the moment we are speeding up here. So I would rather prefer to work a little slowly here and steadily in building up the face structure. So I'm just adding the lighter tone here on the cheek. The front of the cheek is coming up here, and I'm doing the same thing Here as well. Yeah, forehead cheek is kind of done. The nostrils, I need a little bit of titanium white here. Okay. Cool. I like the way she's coming up, even though there's a lot to be done. Um, and I'm going to take the darker skin color that we used just around her eye here to just define the nostrils edges. That is a safer color to work with, I guess. Done. Now I'm going to do a little bit of work on her lip. And that's where I said I want a bit of a correction also. The lip, I said I like the size of it, but I want it to be a little more smiley. And for this, the color that I thought of is that, to this skin color that we mixed, if we added a little more of vermilion, it just goes on to that really close to maroon type of a darker tone. And to that, when we add our skin color, the lighter skin color, you get this nice light lip color. So lip is also the skin, so do not really add white. Do not be jumping to add white again. Like I said, we have added enough. That's more than enough. Let's stick to this skin color and let's see how the skin color can be grown into the lip color. I like this. I'm going to try this. Filling in the section first of the lip, the way it is first. And now I'll have to enhance this slightly here. Slightly here. The shape of our lip is slightly changed. Now it is because of the vermilion, it's really on the orangey side. So we can add tints of crimson to this. I'll start from the center of the lip. So last time I think we used a darker tone there. So I'm just starting from the center of the lip and playing my way through the upper lip. Yes. There you go. She smiles a little more. And I'm working my way through the underlip also. We lighten with the skin tone. And we have to lighten, we can always lighten with the skin tone. That's one section where I did not want a bump, but there is one due to some dry paint. Okay, that's a dangerous area. This is, when you work on the minor nuances, that's when you notice the mistakes from the previous. What I could have done better from the previous thing is that when I mixed, if I had some lumps, I should have taken care of it. Right? So now let's work on adding a little more of the crimson to darken it from the center. So it's skin tone and crimson working over that color range. Now balancing out. So it's a balancing act. So we're just playing with the skin tone and crimson and such to create the impact. I've just drawn a stroke there wantedly. It's a little too much, but I will blend it. Okay, so the upper lip needs that lightening as well. So now for the core black or the burnt umber final, because it's got a load of crimson and all the darker shades, it will just quickly take. So be very careful with it. I think her smile is just astounding. Right. Let's work on her ear. I'm taking the skin color, this skin color. Building on the slightly darker sections in the ear. Shaping them. Shading them. And now I want to use burnt umber, ivory black to so boldly go and start defining a little bit of a contour. And this is exactly where, there's going to be a little more of hair also from the head that is going to fall here and such. So I'm just doing the contour a little boldly with this color. I'll use this color for the ear as well, where I want some kind of darkness to come. I'm going to hide a part of her ear also in the So now I'm taking a little more of this burnt umber crimson shade to give a little more in the neck area, because this is where the shadow is going to be. And we will blend this. I'm going to use brush number 1 to go ahead and blend it here nicely. Cool. So now we need to work on her hair. The color is the same that we used, burnt umber and black, but I want to go over and give the stroke kind of a thing. So there's going to be a bit of yellow ochre added to just give a light, not too much, a tiny bit in certain sections to show, that what do you call, the way the hair is built, the way she's got the hair locks neatly done. And I think it's very traditionally done also. I'm using a zero brush to do that. These are minor strokes, but they do matter in building that hairline, making somebody believe that it's the hair. And the hair starts, falling in here on the sides where the clip, or that, I don't know what to call that, as whatever ornament that is that she's got in her hair, that is here. So I'm just doing that. And we also tend to show that the hair is also getting in locks here and coming out here. So there's a bit of baby hair that we need to show also, isn't it? Even though everything is fully neatly tied. We need to take a bit of this micro brush to create tiny follicles of hair. You just, give it a thought that the tip of the brush is almost touching the canvas but not there. So that will give you that kind of stroke that you can only see for yourself when you have your eyes really closed or with a lens or something. So that's the thing, because here Her hair is so minute. She's got, her hair really up into good locks. Huh? So the really tiny hair isn't appearing that much. And now we go for some nice locks of hair that is slightly coming out of the line. Not too much, but quietly coming out of the line. So that was the hair. We need to go back to the face. Yeah, we are done fully. The nostrils are fine. We worked on the cheeks, but the lip area, wherever we, did the lip line, we need to go one more step with the shading here, lightening it up, the upper lip and the underlip also, very nicely, smoothly. And making sure the contours are looking nice here. I'm taking this burnt umber and crimson combination. Sometimes that works, but ever so lightly. Drawing that line and leaving it there because I want to use very light whitey, what do you call the skin color, the lightest form of it. Very light form of it to kind of create that upper lips highlight. Okay, and I will use that light form of skin color to go underneath that lip. To make the light catching a little bit. And then the skin color slightly here. Shading this section where the chin is. Again, followed by the lighter skin tone on the chin. Let's take it through the jawline. We did not do that, didn't we? Now I want to blend in the extra pink that I added, the blush that I added. Let it dissolve. Right. The lighter skin tone in this part of the ear. In the neck. Okay. The burnt umber and crimson combination can come back one more time here. Let's blend that. Ever so lightly. Alright, I think I need to work on a particular angle in this neck. And she's got a long, deep neck like that. There is the angle that is coming from the neck towards the shoulder. That's a very light muscle. So, and that can be defined using the hair locks themselves. So if you just give this an angle, that's it. Yeah, it's a very light angle, but it helps show. Yeah, done. And I'm just looking at any other things that I might have missed. I think she looks good. I am ready to work on the hands. Um, like I mentioned, you can take a pause and come back and work on this the same day. Working on the same day and working on the same thing will help see certain things that you might have missed. Um, in terms of the skin tone, I think we are doing the skin tone on the same day. Religiously, I try to make sure that it's one class for you. It's just that this class is getting slightly bigger because it's a lot of nuance. You're looking at how she's smiling, every single angle. Do we need to increase that, decrease that, and such? So there's a lot. And so take it slow and steady. Take a pause if you want, but come back the same day to work on the hands as well. Going to do a little tiny bit of work again on this nostril area. That shade. Just to separate the flesh of the nose from the upper lip area. So when it comes to the hands, I want to use this darker tonality a little bit in the area where there is less light falling. So boldly we are going back to using the same tonality that we used in her eye socket and such. And here as well. So I'm going to blend that in ever so lightly. Right. So let's start working on the hands. Um, with respect to the fingers, I'm going to take the lightest tonality to just go over one more time and enhance those finger areas that will have light falling on it. So here, just like the way we added a tiny bit of titanium white, um, the darkness, So let's do for the dark, let's take the crimson and burnt umber. Shade for some sort of darkness. I'm just going to add it to the contour here ever so lightly, and we will blend it soon. And I will do that in the neck area, also in the sections where the jewelry is. And I'll use another brush. I'm looking for a clean brush. This is a zero brush, a clean zero brush round. It will help me blend and create the depth there. And also blend in here. Should be blending in a way that it stops showing in as a contour line, and that is really practice. Slow and steady we keep on, and this is exactly what we have been practicing also, isn't it? From our layer 3 we've been slowly, gradually increasing that pressure. So it's not that you do not know, you will know it. You can actually do this. Done. And I'm going to work on the same tonality in the hands a little bit. And for the lighter tonality, what do we do? That's the opposite, isn't it? It's the little bit of titanium white that will go. One stroke to the, adding a simple stroke here. And to the hands as well, in the sections where you want to show some light falling. I'm just playing with this white. I took a tiny bit of it in the tip of my brush, and that is it. That's it. Yeah. So blending that in nicely. Okay. I'm kind of okay with this, with the look of it. The overall size of these two hands, the contours that I see, it's not the contour that I created now. This is from the previous background thing, and I can see that now I need to adjust it when I work on the background again. So I would like to do that um, right away, at least in this section, to help me understand where things are. So before that, there are a few things that I want to do uh, with the picture as such. This is remember we are blending two cultures. So we have taken the girl from the other culture and also have from a Middle Eastern culture, and have also used all this, jewelry and such. There are a couple of things about this deity itself that always needs. One is that there is a bindi, the center dot that women keep and girls keep. And I want it to be really simplified. So I'm just taking a bit of crimson to make a dot here. That's it. Not too much. Uh, I just want it to be there, but not distracting too much that, it attracts too much of attention. That is done. And another thing is that her hands will have something called mehandi. And by mehndi, a lot of people misunderstand what it is, that because in today's world, mehndi is a big deal. It's a lot of fashionable decorative colors and chemicals available. The traditional mehndi really is a paste that is made of mehndi leaves ground into a paste, and it's just stuck to the hands with the help of another hand simply, and it's plain designs and nothing great about it. So I'm taking a little bit of vermilion and making it translucent with the help of oil. I want the hand to show a little bit of mehndi being present in the palm, in the middle of the palm. So I'm just doing the circle and some dots, so to give an effect that there is something kind of a decoration done in the hand, but it's not fully visible, so there is something there, but you cannot see that totally. So a tiny suggestion, but not too much of a detail, to put in that culture, but not totally pronounces too much. And the fingers will have nails. I'm taking a little bit of titanium white. The thumb's nail, you can see half of it, so that should be slightly easy to work. Okay, I'm going to make this up a little bit so you can see this one also. So I did the nail on the thumb. What about the nails on the fingers? Yeah, this one maybe a little bit is visible. A little bit here. These folded fingers, you can see a tip of the nail, not too much. So just suggestively put in that space. Yeah. So these are tiny dots, really tiny dots, but they make a difference here the moment we have put that in. This hand needs a little bit of adjustment, I can see. But for that, I don't want to, I just want to remove the excess. So I'm just taking off with the white, knocking it off with the white. which we will adjust with the clothing, I suppose. And then we'll work on the skin color here to make the contour right. Yeah. Good. Adjusted. Okay. So I have done the needed adjustments, but one thing that is needed is this background color that has to be fixed. So I'm going to do, so this is not a part of the skin tone, but I have to have a little bit at least done. Um, so I need to take titanium white and with a possibly clean brush, let's see, titanium white, permanent yellow, to bring it down to the yellow that we worked on here. Is that yellow? Good. So the contours a bit, especially in places where I think I made them look slightly bigger. Accidentally, maybe. Yeah, I'll have to be careful with it, not to put in too much, but adjusting the hand size tiny bit. So that was the contour area that I wanted to fix. Done. Just taking a little bit of the skin tone to redefine this new contour here. Yeah, done. So in today's session, we managed to rework on the facial skin tone, the hair, the body skin tone of Vidya Lakshmi, and we have sort of finalized it. I think I can see that she's few corrections I had to do because her eye was slightly duller. I wanted to be showing that right vibrance, but at the same time serenity. So it's a balance. I feel that I have achieved the emotion that I wanted, so I'm happy with it. Um, and in terms of the three-dimensional, what do you call the kind of light versus dark effect and so on, I think the blending also worked fine. In some places, I still see improvement scope, so I'm trying to do it as we speak. Okay, yeah, so I stop now, and we will continue in the next session with layer 5, wherein we will work on her jewelry. And since the jewelry is slightly, I think it will be sort of easy to work with. We'll work on the jewelry, plus we will also do the background coloring. I said, at least for me, I need to work on the background color one more layer, to just hide whatever I did. It is visible. If we come closer, it is visible. So I want to do that in the next session. And then after, in the third, or that will be the class 11. Class 11, we will work on her clothing and the rest of the elements that she's got. That is her book and pen, and also the lotus flower to finalize the painting. So until we meet in the next session, stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy, stay motivated, stay curious. Let's see the goddess of knowledge to the finish together. Bye bye.